James Twin for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so let's talk some Moses Itauma because Moses Itauma, he was awarded with the Prospect of the Year award in Riyadh. Young heavyweight, fighter that's really stock is at an all-time high after what he did to Dempsey McKean in one round. And a lot of people are looking at Moses Itauma as the next big thing. And so far, he's looked every bit the part of the next big thing with who he's beaten, and how he's beaten the guys put in front of him. Right now, Moses Itauma, he was naming some guys that he wanted to fight for his next fight, and I thought the names were very interesting of who it was he's targeting next. Now, the four fighters he named were Otto Wallin, Justice Hooney, Charles Martin, and of course, Filip Hrgovic. So we'll start with Filip Hrgovic because I think unbiasedly, because you guys know Filip Hrgovic is my guy and I like him. He's one of my favorite fighters. But Filip Hrgovic is a fighter that I think naturally, when we look at the progression of his matchmaking, he needs to fight in 2025. Filip Hrgovic fought Dempsey McKean, and he didn't look anywhere close to as good as Moses did in that fight. Filip Hrgovic, it took him 12 rounds to beat Dempsey McKean, and he barely got him out of there in the 12th round. Moses treated him like he was a piece of trash and just threw him in the trash can. Easy work for him. So Hrgovic right now, he was right there knocking on the door of a world title shot last year. He lost to Daniel Dubois. Filip Hrgovic, I would say if you were to rank the heavyweights, he's probably on the lower top 10 right now. He's still in the top 10, but he's probably like in the lower part of the top 10. He's probably like, I would say, as high as 7 and as low as 10. He's somewhere in that range, So that being said, I think that'd be a good step-up fight for him. I personally think that I don't think it's a unwinnable fight for Moses. I think Moses has a chance against Hrgovic just because of his speed and his power and the fact that, let's just be real, Hrgovic has not really shown in like most of his career pretty much, he hasn't really shown the ability to put a great 12 rounds together. A lot of times it looks like he's just coasting. He looks unmotivated. He looks like he's very lethargic. I personally think that Filip Hrgovic overtrains in the gym. That's why I think he looks like that. That's my theory, but it is what it is. But again, with that being said, he's also still very experienced. He's probably one of the most experienced heavyweights in the division. And Moses still has not been in a proper 12-round fight. Like, he hasn't been in a fight against a guy like Hrgovic who has his timing, has his level of pedigree, has his level of experience. And my thing is, as good as Moses is looking, and I feel this way about almost every prospect in boxing, I feel like you don't really know what you got in a prospect until they go some rounds. They get put in a proper 12-round fight, because anyone can look like a killer when they're hitting these guys and they're falling right over, right? And so far that's been the case for Moses. He hasn't had that one fight that inevitably every prospect has, which is a fight where you go rounds. I mean, Mike Tyson had it back in the day. Like, Mike Tyson knocked out, I don't know how many people he fought, and then he eventually fought James Quick Tillis. James Quick Tillis was a good heavyweight gatekeeper that Mike Tyson had met back in the day, right as he was coming up as a fighter. And James Quick Tillis didn't have a great record or anything like that. He wasn't no world beater, but he had know-how, he had experience. And so Mike Tyson, that was like one of the first times, maybe the first time in his career, if I'm not mistaken, where he really had a real tough fight, a fight that went some rounds where he would hit a guy and they wouldn't just comply and fall over. So I feel like if Moses does fight Filip Hrgovic, it's going to be a fight where he's going to experience some things he's never experienced before, and I'm not sure how he handles that. I still think Filip Hrgovic has the potential if he puts it all together mentally, because Hrgovic's issue is not his skills. It's not his toughness. He's shown that he has skills in his career, and he's definitely shown he has toughness, because even in the Dubois fight, he didn't go down like AJ. He didn't get put on his ass and go face first like AJ. He got stopped on his feet and went out like a warrior. So skills and toughness cannot be questioned. I think it's a mental thing and it's a training habit thing. Those are the things for Hrgovic that I think are kind of hindering him right now. So, but I think Hrgovic could beat Moses. So I think if you really like, if the matchmakers really believe in Moses and they think that he really is like that, they do the Hrgovic fight because they know what they got, right? But if there's any reluctance there and they know something about Moses that we don't, then they probably just continue to build him up and do a more gradual step up. So I like that fight. I think it's a very interesting fight. I wouldn't mind seeing it sometime in 2025. Now, as far as other guys, Moses versus Justice Hooney. Justice Hooney, or Honey, I don't know how to say his name, but the southpaw, I think he's from Australia. Justice Hooney, I've seen him fight here and there. I know he's fought Andrew Tabiti. He's got decent hand speed. He's okay. Like he's not no world beater. He's not anything special from what I've seen. I think Moses probably beat the brakes off him. I think Moses could beat him for sure. Otto Wallin, good fighter, southpaw. Not a big puncher, but good stamina. Like that would be a fight where I think that could be like the James Tillis type of fight that I'm talking about. Like the same fight Mike Tyson had with James Tillis. If Moses were to fight a guy like Otto Wallin, that fight I think will go some rounds. I think it'll go like at least 5 or 6 rounds. I think that fight goes 5 or 6 rounds. Wallin's got some experience. He's got some know-how. If Moses knocks out Otto Wallin, and that's a statement to me. That's a statement to me. I don't think he would just knock out Otto Wallin in 3-4 rounds. I think that will at least go 5 or 6, maybe even deeper, just because Otto's got good size on him. You know, he is a southpaw, which doesn't really count for a lot because Nancy McKee was a southpaw and he went out like in a minute. But I think Otto has enough experience and know-how to give Moses some good rounds, and I would favor Moses in that fight just because, you know, Wallin doesn't have a lot of power like that, just being honest. But I think that'll be his James Tillis type of fight, like it was for Mike Tyson, where you run into a guy who has the know-how to when like if Moses lands a straight left hand or a right hook, you know, Otto Wallin's not just gonna fall down right away and comply. He's more experienced than that, and he knows how to give people rounds, right? And then Charles Martin, that's an interesting one because Charles Martin's one of these heavyweights. I think that he's actually probably a little better now at the end of his career than he was even when he was champion. Because when he was champion, he wasn't like that good of a fighter. Let's be real. Charles Martin, when he became champion, he fought the Russian Glaskov. I think that was his name, Glaskov, and it was on the undercard of Wilder's Spilka. And Glaskov fell down and hurt his leg, and the fight had won enough rounds, so he won by technicality, but he didn't really win, and he pretty much sold his belt to Anthony Joshua. He wasn't a very polished fighter back then, but I think over time, when you look at his fights against guys like Luis Ortiz, like a couple other guys he's fought. I mean, like even when he fought Jared Anderson, and then I know he's beaten some guys too. I can't remember the guys he's beaten right now, but the guys he's lost to, he's shown he's a better heavyweight than he was early in his career. He can punch. I think that's a very interesting fight for Moses because Moses hasn't fought a puncher like Charles Martin. So I think Moses could probably stop a guy like Charles Martin within like 6 rounds or 7, but I think Charles would have enough firepower for Moses to think twice, and that would be an interesting fight as well. So those are my thoughts on Moses and the guys he called out in potential fights with fighters like Hrgovic, with fighters like Otto Wallin, with fighters like Justice Hooney, and fighters like Charles Martin. So who do you guys want to see Moses in with next, and how do you think he does against the guys that he's targeting for 2025? And do you guys think any of those guys can beat him right now? Any of those fighters beat Moses right now? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys, please, take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.